Hello everyone, my name is Dasha and today is the third video on my channel. I am really happy about it. For me it was a big way. So let's start. This video will be about the first impression, my first impression about Budapest, about Debrecen, so Hungary. I was in Budapest only one time, so of course I saw not so many things there, but yes, I have some things that I can tell you about. Firstly, the weather in Hungary, it's a huge surprise for me. I thought Hungary is like Moscow. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's snowing. For example, on autumn in Moscow around 10 degrees. It's in the end of September, it's sometimes it can be 0 and after around 10, 0. And on November it's always minus. But here it's this weather here is like in my hometown. Here a lot of trees from the south, for example walnuts, or for example a lot of oleanders. I'm not sure that these flowers in English like oleanders, but anyway. And it was so hot. I came in Hungary in the end of August and the weather was plus 40. After St. Petersburg it was like a hell. I'm not sure, but I think the winter here is not so cold too. It can be around -5 and not so much snow, but I like snow so much. Trains in Russia are going always according their schedule. They cannot be late in even 5 minutes. When I went to Budapest my first time, my train was late for 5 minutes and it was a big surprise and big shock for me, because in Russia, yes, it's impossible. A lot of people said that Budapest is like St. Petersburg, maybe something between St. Petersburg and Georgia, and I agree with this opinion. The city is really popular for students and for some parties for students, because alcohol is really cheap there. And for example, in the morning of Saturday or Sunday, it's impossible to go to the street and don't feel this disgusting smell. And yeah, there are a lot of students, there are a lot of art, a lot of old buildings, so it really looks like St. Petersburg, but because of the weather, because of the south of Europe, it's a little bit like Georgia. But what I like in those cities, that there are a lot of little beautiful things, a lot of little flowers, little trees, a lot of arts on some houses, a lot of pictures, a lot of decoration things, and people are really fancy there. So yes, I like cities like this. It gives me a lot of inspiration. Budapest was almost destroyed after the Second World War, but now this city looks really great, really beautiful. A lot of beautiful buildings and really good roads. And I like those river in Budapest. It's Dunai, and my grandmother liked Strauss and especially Vals of Dunai, and I crossed this river with these vals in my headphones. It's one of the best memories there from those days in Budapest. And it was really difficult for me to find something for eating for the lunch, because there are a lot of street food, a lot of gyros, a lot of shawarma, a lot of some chicken in bread, and so on, and finally I found some Italian restaurant. I spent there only one day. I just walked near the streets. I walked around 30 kilometers and it was enough for one day. But of course, when I will go another time, I will find a lot of new things, because this city is really huge. This city has two sides, Buda and Pesta, and there are a lot of beautiful castles, and oh yeah, this architecture, it's amazing. But unfortunately, I live not in Budapest, I live in Debrecen. Debrecen is the second large city in Hungary. It's on the east. Yes, it's on the east of this country. It's close to Romania. Debrecen looks like my hometown in Russia, Taganrog, really. It's small, cold, a lot of houses, not so many uh, flats, not so many apartments, and yes, houses are quite little, and a lot of families spend their whole life here. And to be honest, living here looks like if you saw some serious a Big Little Lie? Yes, it looks like those sitting in this series. Everybody knows each other. There are a lot of gossips. I know a lot of strange things about a lot of people around me, and I have never met them even so. There are not so many shops around. In Russia, we have a lot of supermarkets. I think every 200 meters, and they are not the same because there are little houses, not so many people, and sometimes it's really difficult to find some supermarket in some areas. But I really like these supermarkets. I like prices. Prices are lower than in Russia, and a lot of good food from Germany, from France. I have never tried, and a lot of things are really interesting for me. After my first month here, I gained one. No, I gained 3 kilograms because there are a lot of sweets I have never tried. There are a lot of food in in bread. I like it because it's like McDonald's. Everybody likes McDonald's. And yes, I have to be careful. What about food in Hungary? Oh, not so good for me. A lot of oil, a lot of meat, a lot of bread. If something is sweet, it's so sweet. And everything in bread and chicken and even vegetables. Goulash is Hungarian traditional food. So I don't really like it, and I'm so happy that family where with whom I live here, they are not so happy about this food too. So we usually cook something from French or from Italy. And it's so strange for me. Nobody drink tea. If you drink tea, you are sick. So I drink tea really a lot, maybe 5 6 cups every day, and everybody looks at me like, oh, you're crazy, or you have sickness. So what's happening with you? I'm always with my tea, and I really think about teapot in my room. And yes, it was the same in Estonia, but it's always a big surprise for me that I can drink water from a tap. So in Russia it's not the same. The water in the tap is disgusting and not really good for health. So yeah, it's really cheap and good for my purse. Hungarian language is really strange and really difficult. In a lot of lists, it's close to Mandarin language. So I thought after Russian language everything is easy, but no, because it's too different. Hungarian language used huge words. For example, some sentence you can speak on English with 9 10 words. In Hungarian, it's only 1 or 2 words, and a lot of suffix and strange pronunciation. So, and I have not so much time for this, and yes, it's quite big problem. I know some simple words from kids. For example, Anya is mother, Papa is father. It's easy, but yes, not so much, not so much. But a lot of people know Russian a little bit because in Soviet Union time it was necessary to study Russian in schools. So a lot of people know some basic words and they can speak with me and beginning our conversation with "Здравствуйте", "Привет, товарищ". It's hello, hello, my friend, on English, something like this. And yes, it was so cute to hear this here. And in Budapest, there are a lot of Russian people. They're living there. So in Budapest, it's not so rare to hear Russian language. In Debrecen, I even find a Russian Culture Center. This center is in Debrecen University, and there are one faculty. Yes, they study Russian language and Slavic languages, and a lot of Hungarian people study Russian, and I spoke with them, and they're really good. Some guy speaks really like fluent. It was again a big surprise for me. But oh my god, it's new country for me. Everything is big surprise for me. And I was on some meeting with those guys, and we listened Russian music, we ate some Russian food, spoke about politics. Of course, I was so happy because in the country of foreigners, it's so good for my soul to listen my own language and speak about things I really like. And three of those people were in my hometown. My hometown, it's really little dot on Russian map, and they were there because of Chekhov. Chekhov was born in my hometown, and they were on some meeting about Chekhov, and we spoke about my favorite restaurant there, and oh, it was like a dream. It was crazy why some Hungarian people were in those little city close to Azov Sea. Oh my god. We will see what will be in the future about my opinion about Hungary, but for today, that's all. Bye bye!